Hi, good morning, and this is Sasi The Don here, and this is answering the questions for Science Speaks website. And thank you for having me. I appreciate it a lot. So let's start. So your first question: how did you feel when you achieved? Oh, in 2002. Fine. Okay. When I got the whole, uh, you know, when I received this recognition as the Reggae Ambassador of Asia at that time, specifically for Malaysia. It was definitely a great honor because reggae music is a very beautiful genre. And it is a genre that connects people around the world, not just through music, but there's a great soul in reggae that brings people together. And this is just not for concerts and festivals, but it's the whole idea of humanity, understanding culture, understanding diversity. And I think reggae plays a huge role to promote this among people in the world. That's why you have artists like Bob Marley, Jimmy Cliff, and it's all great legends who have always spread good vibes and good message. And being part of this community on a larger scale, and being able to be an ambassador to represent that in such a huge part of the world. And starting with Malaysia back in that time in 2002, I mean, reggae was new and reggae was booming, and it's all about how to say, making an impression. So it was important, for an Asian like me, who and and it was definitely a huge honor, and and I was very happy. How was your experience working with big international names? Uh-huh. So working with big international names is just not about working with them. It's why I worked with them. Most of the people that I worked with were people that I literally grew up listening to, people that I honored in my life, people that I idolized, day and night listening to their music ever since I was 11, 12 years old. And I've always been very, very sincere to 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 a lot of things around me, including my music. So I've always honored reggae as a great platform, as a great genre. As I said earlier, it's a beautiful genre that brings people and the world together. So with that, I'm able to, to connect. At the same time, I'm able to connect with people that I idolize. That's a whole new level. So to me, personally, I just felt that you know it's important for my career, and it's also important for me to to extend this to my fans and people of my country, people in Asia, that reggae is on the map. So working with all these big names was definitely a great how to say, it would have definitely been a good experience. I learned a lot from them, and many of them are my brothers today. And I connect with all these people on a different level, and this allows me to progress because knowing for a fact that I'm not alone in this big music world. Sometimes you need to have all these different counterparts. Network is so important in the music business. So these collaborations just did not end with one song and the video, but it got extended to their family and friends and their fans, and and this helps me to connect with more people. So yeah, it was definitely a huge recognition and a beautiful experience. The idea behind the name Sasi The Don. Well, that name was definitely a name that I never intentionally, or how to say, had it. I never had it when I came up with the name. I never had the thought of being a singer one day. I always had this thing about always trying to be the leader in what I do. I like to lead in change. I like to lead in differences. I love to lead in creativity, and I always felt that The reason I say when I lead in this, it's not because, it's not because I'm saying that I am the best or I'm the only one. It's not like that. It's my confidence. I'm so sure about many things that I do from the time I started was always one step to the other was to improve from the last step I was in. So moving from one step, it always elevates me and takes me to, to higher places. And though the name like Sasi the Don kind of always gives you an idea like why is he called the Don, right? So to me, it was about making a statement. It was about representing who I am, where I come from, the type of person I am, personality, in every way. I just want to take lead in these many areas that I am confident of, and with that, I'm able to spread greater opportunities, good vibes, more positivity in everything, right from work to music, to friends and family. And with all those thoughts in mind, and that's where, this whole idea about the name came about. And it was definitely given by a friend who suggested that, because I was a DJ at that time and, I used to spin instrumentals in the clubs and I used to rap on it. This was while I was a student in college. So I used to, do work part-time to make extra money. And that's how, I found myself landing myself with that name. A friend of mine who was the boss at that time, where the place I was working, because I used to rap over the instrumentals, and he said like, "Bro, you are the Don in what you do," and wow, that just stuck to my head. I mean, because I was the Don in what I did, when it comes to raga and reggae music. So the name just stuck with me. The idea behind the creation of Anbe. Okay, this is a beautiful question. Anbe was definitely a huge song in my career. They say like every artist will have that one song which represents him from across generations, across time. This is it. This is my song. Whether I can create another song like this, I don't think so. It's not easy because songs like this don't come as planned. It comes as you flow. So Anbe was definitely a track, for an artist like me. He was independent at that time, and it was just mind-blowing, groundbreaking song that took me everywhere, took me places, connected me with a lot of people around the world. People who didn't speak the language, didn't speak Tamil, honored me and complimented, talking about the song. The whole idea behind the song was, I remember at that time, everyone wanted to be part of this record label in Malaysia. It was a big platform, huge independent record label in Malaysia, and it was called Positive Tones. And Positive Tones at that time was doing great stuff. They promote great music, they promote great artists, and then things were just, everyone wanted to be with Positive Tones. Everyone wanted to be signed up to Positive Tones. Well, I had the opportunity, and the bosses at that time told me like I have to come in with some demos and stuff like that. I remember I wrote an English single called "The Tide Is High." It was a cover by who were they? By the Blondies. So the old song, "The Tide Is High," which I covered it, and I had my own version, and they loved it. The label loved it. They said, "Wow, this is amazing." And it was perfect at that time because early 2000, Shaggy had his Angel, and it wasn't me. So it was good. It was the same vibes, and everything was just blended perfectly. So when I took The Tide Is High to the record label to show them the demo, they loved it, but they told me it's not enough. Well, every record label tells you that, right? So it was a good experience. I learned. I was young and I was ready for the next big thing. So what happened was they told me that if I could come back with another song, And I told them, like, it's not easy to put a song together, and I need to think, I need to figure out, I need to connect with the right people to work with me. And I think God was on my side. Things happened very quickly, and the label told me that they wanted me to come up with a Tamil song, and that was a huge challenge for me. But I decided to go back and sit and think about what to do next. I mean, they liked one song already, so I've got another song to think of. So I decided to write a song about love, and I decided to write this song about the love that we can never find. That perfect person that nobody can find in life. So, and that's where Anbe came about. Anbe means my love, and and it was at that time it was the perfect tune. I had the right people come into the studio and work with me, and we put everything together. And yeah, and when the most beautiful thing is when I took the song to the label, they were impressed, and they said, like, this is it, and let's work with this and let's get it going. And that's how Anbe came about, and it was not easy, but it actually happened. So sometimes when you look back and think about the great things that happened to you, all you can do is be thankful and appreciate it. Because sometimes not everybody is that lucky to to come up with such ideas or content or song. So I don't know. I mean, that's how it is. That's how Anbe, is that's what Anbe is all about. Oh, I missed one question. Tell us something about your background. Okay, my background. I'm of how to say. I mean, what kind of background? If it's a family, I'm from a middle class family. And I started as a young youth, doing what I love best. Just like every other kid. I went to college. I went to university, and I did everything I could. And just like any other kids. Sorry for that. Just like any other youth at the time, I had my hobby, I had my preferences. And music was a very important part of my life. It helped me discover the world I live in. It helped me discover my choices, my interests. Then I went to university. I did my engineering degree there, University of Malaya, which is one of our biggest universities in Malaysia. And from there, I somehow landed myself in music during my second year. I started recording my first album, and yeah, it was just a beautiful journey. And then from there, when I graduated, I got into advertising. So as long as I was in music, I always had a full time job, which I was always very passionate about, because sometimes as a musician you have a lot of time in life, and I always love waking up early, and using my time to great benefits. So sometimes musicians, artists like me, we only become busy during the weekend. So the weekdays had a lot of time, so I decided to get myself a job, and I landed myself in an advertising agency called Mindshare, and everything was history. I just built myself up in that industry, and I'm a very experienced branded content uh, uh, person. So that's what I do. And today I even have my own ad agency, which it's a small boutique agency, but we do some great work, and that's how it's been. And that's my background, and yeah, nothing much. Oh yeah, just to let you know. So in terms of background, yes, I have a daughter. She's 7 years old. I love my family. I love my pets. I'm a very much a dog person. I love dogs. I love cats, and I love to travel. I love visiting new places, eating new food, trying new things. Yeah, that's all about me. What attracted you towards reggae? Kai, hold on, Yeah. Sorry. Okay, so what attracted me towards reggae? Well, reggae is definitely. I mean, when the first time I discovered reggae music, I didn't know it was called reggae, right? Because to be honest, I never heard of the word reggae at that age. I mean, the only music that I know was pop, king of pop, Michael Jackson. At the age of 11, some hip hop here and our rap, but nobody told me about reggae, right? So I discovered reggae from scratch. So basically, I always had a favorite record store every day when I go back home from school. Every time I walked to take the bus, I would pass this record store in the town, in the middle of the city. And what happened from there was I kind of discovered different music plays from this record store every day. One day he plays rap, one day he plays one of the biggest R&B artists at that time, and then pop, and then you hear Michael Jackson, and then you hear rock. And one particular day, I remember this shop, they played Dr. Alban. It's No Coke and Hello Africa, and wow, the music just just attracted me to the store. And everything started there that day. I still remember it. I picked up the cassette and I was like, wow, this guy's a doctor. It kind of just gave me a different level of belief, in the world I live in. And then I slowly discovered Shaggy, Apache Indian, Dinah King, Inner Circle, Maxi Priest. Oh, so many artists. And this is how my love for reggae. It is how I discovered reggae. This is how the love for reggae grew, and it was great. And I just and I'm just loving it. I think reggae is beautiful. I think reggae is for everyone to listen. But I know it's not easy for everyone to create because the whole genre of reggae music is a total game by itself. It's a different culture. It's a huge thing. So yeah, I mean that's how I discovered reggae, and I'm very proud of it. The idea behind My Second Wave. So my album is called My Second Wave. The whole idea behind My Second Wave was basically to inspire people that life doesn't stop here. We always need to have a plan. So when the pandemic hit the world, I just felt that we need to do more to move on and get going. So that's how the whole plan I put together for My Second Wave. I thought it was a perfect time, to drop an album, and especially a lot of my fans. I keep connected with a lot of people on social media, and a lot of people keep talking about music, keep talking about wanting to hear more songs, and ask me to release a remix of a song of mine, especially the song Anbe, and everything started since Father's Day when I released Daddy Don. I just saw the support, the love that people were giving me, and I thought, why not? Let's take it further, and that's how it all just started. And I think it's important for someone like me, who's like a veteran in the industry and been around too long, and I believe that it's important we also look out for the newcomers of the world. If we don't do this, who's going to do it? And then there's going to be no future. The problem with a lot of artists of my time is many of us sometimes we forget that there is a future for the music industry. We try to keep all our work within who we are and work to the next famous guy who we know, which is, I mean, it is a thing, but end of the day, I think there's more to this, There are a lot of upcoming artists, young artists who needs to be elevated, who needs to be shown the way. You need to create the path, you need to open the door. So My Second Wave is all about that, inspiring and changing people's life. Your thoughts on Bob Marley? Oh, of course, Bob Marley is a great figure. Bob Marley is a great inspiration, and Bob Marley is a is a great identity. Wherever you go in the world, if you see a picture, a poster of Bob Marley, the colors of Bob Marley, I mean, you will you will be able to relate every time you see this. You know, and Bob Marley has got great songs, words, teachings. And if you look at his hierarchy, from him to his sons and daughters today, who they are, what they do. I mean, it's a total different universe by itself. The Bob Marley's clan is just, they're a unique universe that keeps the reggae industry going. They're a bunch of wonderful people, and I believe that this is what Bob Marley is all about. To keep connecting with people around the world. Today I'm in friends with most of the Mali children. They all know who Sasi The Don is. And of course, if opportunity permits, we will work in the near future. But today, I'm glad that I'm part of this whole reggae culture globally, and it's important not just for me, but it's for everything that I'm about, being Asian, being Indian, and that's important. So every time I push myself to greater heights, it's also taking Malaysia, India, Japan, and these are some of the biggest reggae communities in the world, in Asia, and it's important that we grow together. Who inspired me to get into this field? To be honest, no one in particular that I know at that time, but it was all music. It was all the artists I was listening to. I would say the three big artists that inspired me was Apache Indian, Shaggy, and Dr. Alban. These were the three that really established me and my dreams and my vision. My future projects right now, I'm focusing on my second wave. I've got a song called Humpty Dumpty that is coming out on the 18th of December. So that's a very important release, a beautiful video. I'll be making more videos, I'll be making more songs. So with all this, I think right now I'm currently focused on this. I'm waiting for the world to be able to travel again. I want to come to India. I've got a lot of work. I've got people to connect with. Yeah, so let's see how that goes. I'm just hoping that everything will be better again for the world. So thank you, and looking forward to the article, and God bless.